What's up, everybody? It's looking like you made it to my channel. And here you can see many different things, from breakdowns to rambling to reactions and more. If you like the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, go ahead and hit the like button so I know you want more content. With that being said, let's go ahead and get it started. What's up, everybody? This is something that I didn't expect. Honestly, let me be honest from the beginning. When she said that she actually got everything set up, Mesus, my first thing is, who's trolling you? It's probably one of them little Pakistani guys trolling you again, like they were trying with Upchurch. And she's like, no, I really talked to him on a live or something, and everything's going through right now. And I was like, all right, if it goes through, awesome, but I don't know yet. And up until this morning, I still wasn't sure. So
that's hilarious.
For anybody that's unaware, this is Mesus, one of the top artists that I listened to. Probably the very first CD I bought in 15 years was Mesus, because of some of the songs that he made. I mean, there's so many different songs that you've made that had an impact. But I think one of the largest ones for me was the Christian, because I've always been raised where I was raised as Christian on most of my growing up, but I also looked at other religions because I've always been open-minded and everything. And you come out and you're saying everything that we've said for how long. Yeah. And that song had one of the biggest impacts to me. And then you put out the song, the George Floyd song. That, what you said there, it was like, okay, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's not all white, it's not all black. Everybody throws down with everybody. It's never been about race. I mean, I'm 38 years old. We didn't have social media, we had hands. So it was social hands.
Thumb games are strong these days.
Yeah, and then it's like all these younger kids and everything, and all they're talking about, let's mumble about this or let's mumble about that. You get a few good ones that coming out, don't get me wrong. But most of them they're just trying to either bury themselves alive, where they're talking about things that they did and self-snitching more or less, or you got these kids that are mumbling and getting themselves hurt because they talk about things that they shouldn't talk about when they aren't mumbling. But that's neither here nor there. I got a couple questions for you.
Code, man.
Exactly. If they grew up during our era, half of the stuff wouldn't be going on. You'd have a whole bunch of old men throwing hands outside, but that would be about it.
A lot of rappers from our era are dead.
Yeah, a lot of not even just rappers. I mean, I lived through the Oxy epidemic. Everybody that was around me, pretty much, I left and found out everybody that didn't leave, they went down a drain, either in jail or dead.
Yeah, but I got a lot that didn't make it out, but sucks. But
yeah, you know, some really close ones too, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, some really close ones too, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, you put out that one song, and I broke down in tears because it reminded me of what my closest friend, and it was like, damn, I just went through this, and you put a song out, and I can't even like consume the video because the words are having so much of an effect. So
hold on, Jesus is over here, man. Yeah. Come here. No, just say hi. You gonna interrupt?
Oh, absolutely. Bring her on.
Come here and say hi. Just sit in.
How you doing? This would be Mesus' lovely wife.
Yes, it is. Yeah. She. I'm sorry. You're talking. I'm looking over. So
you feel free.
But I didn't want to be rude, but I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Please
I'm sorry about your loss, man. No, I'm apologizing.
Oh no,
you talking about some real shit, and I don't want you to feel like I wasn't paying attention.
No. It was just you put that out at the same time that I had a situation like that happen, and it helped me make it through a lot of that. But I think the most impactful thing when it came to your music wasn't your music necessarily. I've been listening to your music for a minute at this point, but I had been swatted. And I had everything falling down on my shoulders at once. At that point in time, you start doing Operation 180. I was sitting in a vehicle. I'd go outside of my house when you'd come on, sit in my vehicle for hours, and everything that I had melting down, it was like, okay, what he's talking about and the things that he's saying, is pretty much what's helping me make it through these struggles, because I can't promise that I would still be around if not. And that's not me trying to like kiss ass or nothing like that. That's legitimate.
Dog.
I
Yeah.
mean, I was raised Christian, but I don't necessarily believe that we're on a right belief system when it comes to Christianity. I believe, yes, a lot of the teachings are correct, but a lot of it's mistranslated and it harms people. And
Yeah, and there's this the church has gotten very infiltrated, man, and there's a lot
yes,
of false teaching going on for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm just a firm believer we need to go back to the furthest books. That way, there's not as many changes or anything like that. But
Yeah,
you were talking about all the struggles and things like that, and then using your religion to be able to help you make it through it. And I
yep,
was looking at it from the same aspect, and that helped me out drastically to a point where it's like, okay, you know what? With God, I can actually be able to hold on.
facts,
I
bro.
mean, that was very, very appreciated. So
Thanks, man.
that's first
Thank
and
you.
foremost.
That 180 thing is definitely I haven't wrote it off or given up. I just so like I said, I've been I this room was it doesn't look anything like what it used to look like. I literally built a whole studio over like the last couple months here. So the reason I've been kind of off the grid for that, man, is I just been trying to. I mean, I didn't even show you the booth. The booth is over there. It's just like it's been nuts, and between that, I've been working on a bunch of projects. So
No, I could see. I see
yeah,
some of them, and you guys are
so once
doing.
it really hits, bro, like I kind of the last 2 years have been like a blur, and I kind of just, I just it was like, okay, I gotta find a rhythm or I'm gonna fry out. You know what I mean? Because like I wish if I could go back, man, I kind of wish I didn't release albums the way I did. I'm still sitting on like it's dumb how much music I'm sitting on, and so that was why I did it. I was like, I got so much, I'm just gonna drop it all. And I wish I would have spaced those my first three projects that I dropped out a little more. Like every 4 months or something, like let them breathe a little bit more instead of like literally dropping 3 month to month to month like that. Cause what it did is it like almost like it's like I always call it because I'm from the Chicago area. I always call like I just came up with this thing, the Jordan effect. It's like I remember watching this and you see other guys. It was funny because like guys would score like 15 points and they have like a good game, like BJ Armstrong or what somebody wasn't like the star would have like 15 points and a decent game and he get like player of the game, and Mike would
Yeah,
have like 40 points and like but it was just par for Mike, so they're just like, Mike had 40 tonight, whatever, like, and it was just like I feel like that with my music because it's like I'll drop a song and it'll be out like 3 days, and they'll be like, "When's your next song?" Like, holy shit,
if
dude!
I
Like,
put
I
everything out
just
this fast.
I just gave you like 90 songs. Yeah, baby, it is sideways.
Here, let me see if I can adjust some things.
Tyler's watching. He said, "Turn my phone sideways."
Let's see.
There you go.
Here we go. I think that was on my end because of the first orientation.
There we
Okay.
go.
But yeah, I mean,
Tyler's over here yelling at me.
you did 2 songs with Topher, and right before that, you did the remix of New World Order. Remix of New
Yeah,
World Order. That song
I
got pretty
almost,
suppressed,
bro.
without a question.
I almost remixed the joint they're gonna drop today, but I because it's definitely something I'm passionate about, and God we trust and stuff, and I
Absolutely.
don't know. I I I listened to that album last night on Spotify when it dropped. Uh, I bought it too, but I listened to it just because I grew up with Adam. Me and Adam know each
Yeah,
other very.
absolutely.
So I wanted
I've
to
seen the
listen
few
to it.
songs you got with him.
We've done a ton of stuff, but I I just sat there and listened to the whole thing, and I thought about. I was like, but I got so much. I got a lot of love. I mean, that video actually, I don't know. I'm not good on analytics and all that, so, but I know my channel's grown a little bit since I put that one out. But there was like people that legit were like, not only am I unfollowing you, I'm blocking you and all like crazy shit, crazy
And
shit.
That's that,
Because they were
I
like,
don't
"Oh,
understand.
you're trying to," and if they had any clue who I am, like as far as, and I don't mean that in a cocky way. I mean in like what I did just to make that song happen. Like, so I recorded that song on the road in Houston because my sister was getting married that weekend, and we were driving down Thursday night, and I hit up a producer I know, Trunks. Shout out to Trunks. I hit him up and I said, "Dog, I need you to do your magic, bro. I'm like, I need you to make a beat that isn't even like basically like they have. It's not like I need you to make a beat for a video that hasn't even dropped yet." And he's like, "Well, how am I gonna do that?" I'm like, "I think it's gonna hit Spotify at 11. I need you to get that in my email in like an hour." And he was like, "I got you." And that dude is a genius with that. And so he sends it over. I get the beat, and I was up till like 3, 4 in the morning in the hotel. Like my wife's asleep. We stopped at a hotel on the way down to Houston, and I didn't go to sleep until I finished writing. And I booked a hotel or booked a studio session with a guy I'd never met in my life, never been to the studio, never recorded recorded the song in like 3 hours, I think. And then I sat on it. It was done by like, and I could have got in earlier, but or I couldn't get in earlier. I was been up, but it was done at like 4 o'clock. It was done
Wow.
like 3 hours after the shit dropped, and I sat on it and I was like chewing my nails, and I'm like, because I people are just like so vile, dog. Like they're just so crazy, and I'm just
Entitled.
sitting there, and it's like anywhere else in the era that I grew up, people you would get nothing but 100% props. Like, holy shit, how did you do this? How did you drop? You know, how did you do that? Like, how did you drop a remix that quick? But because people clout chasing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, shut up, bitch. You don't even know.
Yeah,
I
and
grew up
it's
with that. I'll call him right now, like, and talk to him about
that
how
was
he's
the thing
taking
for me.
shit. He FaceTimes me while he's in the tub. Like, that's the relationship we get. It's like, get out of
Well,
clout chasing.
I seen the
It's
people saying that you were clout chasing, and I'm like, wait a
yeah,
minute. I even
yeah.
pulled a video link. Like, wait a minute. No, they put music out together for one, and then for two, I'm pretty sure they spoke about knowing each other for years.
Yeah,
How's
yeah,
clout chasing if it's a friend doing a friend's beat?
yeah. I appreciate you going to war for me too, man. There's like
Oh, no
side.
doubt about it.
I see that. I see that. It's definitely appreciated when people like go to bat for me because if I went to war with every comment, I'd
I
lose
think
my
it
mind.
was. I think it was the New World Order song, and you'll see me arguing with somebody in chat because they're like, "Oh yeah, he was dissing Tom McDonald. Now he's using his beat." Like, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. That was a bunch of
Never
BS.
did
I
stop.
seen the
I
clipped up
never did.
video.
People have asked me 100 times. I mean, I can't even tell you. That's what I said in the song. Is would you do a song with Tom's constantly in my comments? Like, I I literally get asked that probably more than any other question, and I always say this. Usually, it's like if it's a
yeah.
like or whatever, I'll be like, I'm down. The only thing that people say, "Oh, I dissed him," or whatever, or took a shot or whatever, is I just said I don't like his hooks.
And
That's
there's nothing
not a
wrong with
diss.
that. I
A lot of
mean,
his hooks are cringy, bro. He says that himself. Like Tom
absolutely.
McDonald says that himself, but he's like, I know they're corny. I know they're cringy. It's like
But that's his
so.
thing. That
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like
like
we don't have to like every aspect of every song
Eminem has
to.
corny hooks. Eminem, the greatest lyricist, arguably, definitely arguably, I'll let people whatever, but definitely arguably the greatest lyricist, rapper, whatever you'll call it, ever, has corny hooks sometimes. Like more, I wouldn't say more often than not, but he's known to have
I
like kind
agree
of
with
corny.
you.
Nas has poor beat selection. Nas, it's like, dude, you're Nas, and you pick like
Wasn't he just supposed to recently come out with something new?
Nas did. His shit was
Yeah.
hard. But he brought it back too. He brought it. It's called I bought it. What is it called? I forgot what it's Magic. I think it's called Magic. This shit is crazy, bro. It's like some Illmatic, old school. He brought it way back to the roots. I
Yeah,
mean, we're gonna do crazy because people don't respect that kind of hip hop no more. But
I don't think I'd ask if you would do if you would ever make music with Tom McDonald. That's a given. I mean, whether you like his hooks or not, you guys are both great artists. You can do great things.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I'm never a hater either, bro. Like
For me, though,
I'm
the
happy.
person I want to see you make a song with either Jelly Roll or somebody like the Real Young Swag. The Real Young Swag, because I could see you guys putting something together like where you guys are going back and forth talking about religion in a song.
So you know what's
Je-
funny?
Jelly,
I
that's just somebody I would love to see you make music with.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Jelly, I got a few that I've kind of just set off to the side that I think would work really well for Jelly. But and he actually shared my story the other night, which I was on Instagram being way too extra. I was uh yeah, I don't know, it was weird.
It,
I
Jelly's
so
been on a roll lately.
So everybody make sure you guys comment in Jelly's comments from all 5 different platforms we're on. Tell him that you want to see him and Mesus make music.
let's get it, bro. But yo, what's great? We just went and saw that Batman movie. I'm a pretty big Batman fan. I'm not like a super big movie guy. I don't know, but like I love Batman movies. And my brother-in-law, we were actually sitting here when he told me about it. And then my wife said, "Yo, they want to go see that new Batman." And I was like, "Oh, we're going to see that." That movie was crazy. If you haven't seen it, it
I
just
have.
came out. I think like that movie is like
I don't think we have yet.
it's gritty. Like it's they took it. You know how like the last trilogy was like pretty gritty compared to the rest of them, like the one with
Mhm.
Heath Ledger and
Yeah, yeah.
like they were kind of gritty. You know, they were dark. You know, like people even said before he ended up dying. Uh, that like he was like people didn't even want to be around him on set. Like he
He
was
went down
so
that rabbit hole.
yeah, he was dark. Like so like
Yeah.
it was darker than those ones. Like this it was dope. Like you don't feel like you're watching like some dude in tights, you know, or whatever. Like it's like it's grimy. Like it was cool. So I enjoyed that. But um right before we went in the theater, I had never talked to him on the phone, but me and Swag have communicated multiple times, like through social media and text and stuff. And I was like, you know, let me just call him real quick. So it's funny you said Swag because I just talked to him yesterday for the first time on the phone, and we're definitely gonna make it happen. Um, for sure. I was just telling him like because he's actually had an idea, a song idea for a while, and I just haven't. It's I don't know. He snapped on it. I'll tell you that much already. That voice.
Hey, I'm all for it. You guys put something out.
So,
I'm dead. Another one, even Problematic. I don't know if you've ever really listened to a lot of his music or not.
I haven't. No, I think I've heard
He's
that name though. At this point, I feel like that name's
Problematic is good.
he's been around for quite some time. I mean, he's more of the ones where it seems like he's just straight up authentic. It doesn't matter what it is, he's authentic. Whether you agree, disagree, he's still going to say it. So, I
dope.
mean,
I mean, that's for the most part how it should be. You know, it's art. You know,
absolutely. But we got too many frauds. Okay,
you always,
so there are a few questions for you.
let's get it.
I did have a question that came from another artist, and he said, "What do you do?" Now he's been making music for some time, and he just likes to get tips from others. And he said, "What do you do when you're in the booth and you start tripping over one specific line? Are you going to replace that line or reword the line? Or are you going to try to battle and get it?"
Um, so it depends why I'm tripping over that line. If I'm tripping over it because it sounds like too wordy, then I might rewrite it. If I'm tripping over it because I can't get the timing right, but I know it's the right bar, then usually what I'll do is I'll just back myself up in the song. Like I'll listen to the song from the top a lot, you know, like or from that verse from the top, or you know, I'll basically back myself up more to like get myself more momentum and more rhythm really to like catch
Gotcha.
that bar. So if it's off, yeah, if it's like a timing issue, then it's I'll back myself up. If it's like too wordy, I've had to, it's change. Usually, it's just like a syllable thing. Like there's like you're trying to jam
I
too
can
many.
agree.
syllables into
Well,
something that just don't. And
I
now it's
mean,
not sound smooth.
I've noticed with a lot of the new artists, speaking on that aspect, they can't go on stage. They can't go on stage because they don't have something cutting up their music to fix every single other set of bars.
Oh yeah,
And I've noticed a lot of the newer artists that are coming out. Oh yeah, we got good music. Okay, well, we'll spit a freestyle, 16 bars. Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna need to record it. No, 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 no. That's not a
yeah,
freestyle. We know what's
yeah,
going on. So
yeah, yeah. They're my live. I with the Corona thing, man. It kind of killed the live game for me at least. Plus my career kind of just popped like right when that happened. But um, I've only done like a handful of live shows since all this Corona stuff, and I did one in Texas, and Tyler actually DJ'd that one, and man, I was gassed. Like, I mean, I was doing my set, but I was literally the thing is though, like
the
I kept it
breaths.
like I literally like I sat down, I was like, look, man, I'm sorry as hell, yo, I'm sorry. like I don't try to play it off and act like, oh, I mean, I really just interacted with people and still made it fun, but then we did a show in Florida, and that shit, I was like, I had my bounce back. So I think I just had to like get my lung. I think that was the first show I did in forever, the one in Texas. So I don't know if my lungs just were shocked from it or what, but yeah, it's not easy though, especially with how much energy, and obviously I'm not. These are way past the days of one take verses and shit. This ain't.
Yeah,
I will punch a word if I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I will literally. I'm that like nope. I don't like how I said on start. You know what I mean? Like we're fixing that because to me it's like once it's out there, it's out there. It's timeless. It's I want to give people and why would we have tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment if we're gonna make like subpar shit? You know what I mean? If I can give people the
I agree.
best product, cool. Then obviously I strive to give people the best live performance, but yeah, like I feel you. Some of these people, it's not even comparable, like to
Yeah, they
what's
get
on the song to what's on stage. It's like, oh,
they'll do one line bars throughout the whole song, put it together like it's they did it as a freestyle or they just went through in a one shot. And meanwhile, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
20. One of the
yeah.
few that I seen doing one shots that actually did the one shots was be like Dax or didn't you do one on one of your like the NF Clouds? Was that a one shot?
No, it wasn't one, but it was no, it wasn't one. That video was probably my favorite video we ever shot. That was a lot of fun. I actually want to get back into shooting videos like that more. Like a lot of my videos are kind of guerrilla, and I'm just like I love this song, and I'll come up with an idea, and it's just crazy. Like it's funny. I was just talking to Bird, and you know, it's like we put all this time and effort and energy into like videos, and then they do mid to like bad. But then it's like white sin. I put a flag on my shoulders and sat in front of a prison. We shot the whole video in like an hour, and and
But I don't
it's like
necessarily.
my number one video, or Trump 2020. I stood in
I
front of
love
Trump
that
Tower.
video.
Oh, that was
It,
great. That was great.
it's just
The
crazy though. It's
wait a
it's
minute,
like
hold on,
all the
because one day,
story and no.
like my mom's not big into rap. She listens to a lot of older music now, but just once in a while she'll listen to rap. And I go into her house the one day and I hear Trump 2020. Christ 21. And I said, what are you listening to? She's like, this guy's badass.
That's
And I was
hilarious.
loving it. So, I mean, your music reaches a lot of audiences in different aspects. The problem is there's a lot of suppression from the outside that's like, hey, whether you agree or not, we don't want this getting too far because people might start thinking for themselves. And I think that
Yeah,
harms the music industry more than anything. Um,
you said, you
what's
said
that?
that does work in the music industry.
I think that harms the music industry, the real
Oh
music industry. I'm not talking to the professional industry because we know the underground artists are the industry. That's the true
yeah,
music industry. I think
yeah,
that's who gets harmed the most. I
yeah.
mean,
This censorship is terrible, man. It's trash, bro. I can't even like right now. There's a comment that I just answered right before I got on the phone from someone on Instagram, and it's not. It's totally unrelated. It's about a political post that Benny Johnson. You know who Benny Johnson is?
I'm not
He's
sure.
just he's like a meme guy. I don't even know who he is, but he's got like millions of followers and he's just hilarious. He posted a picture of the map, United States, and it said why nobody messes with United States, and it said like hillbillies down here. You know, it's just like all these different. It said all like gangs in Chicago. You
Yeah.
know, like it had all the different spots, but then like right up by the Bay Area, San Francisco. You know, like I don't want to say much more than that, but like up near the Bay Area, it's like this part won't be that hard, you know, like so
Mhm.
like you know, like
And I could
and
just imagine what they had.
I just quoted that. I just put this part won't be that hard with a bunch of laughing faces. And it's like you got like dudes trying to like talk all to like all from San Fran. I'm like, dog, like you gonna act like it ain't like the rainbow flag capital of the world over there, bro. You're gonna act like everybody knows what that comment was. But I'm like, I gotta the reason I said all this is like I'm like treading so lightly. I'm like, because I've said something completely harmless. I responded back. Somebody called me a bitch, and I wrote, "Bitch, huh?" And I got my shit flagged.
On
Bitch,
Facebook,
huh? With a comment. Yeah, on
Instagram.
Instagram. And
I
Instagram. I've had so many posts flagged on Instagram where I was like,
somebody
how?
somebody on Facebook tried to scam me. I said you could f off with your scams, and the next thing you know, I got a restricted account for 30 days. Like, what are you doing? They
Yeah,
told
I've
me
done
to
shit
click a
less than
link.
that. Yeah,
Like,
I've done shit less than that. It's crazy how bad it's
it really
they
is.
just
But I
don't
mean,
want people, like you said, that are awake, you know, basically for keeping
they
it
could think for
general.
themselves.
They
Is
don't want
really
it, bro. They want people that are just keep sharing your, you know, your mindless, thoughtless shit. You know what I mean? And just
do what you're
consume.
told.
And
Pretty much, do
that's
what
all
you're
they
told.
want.
But
Do what
my
you told.
kids, that's the benefit because of a lot of my kids. I have 4 kids, 5 kids technically, but one lives in a different state.
That, that's
But
fun too.
it's like at least I know my kids know to think for themselves and not to believe everything they're told.
Good.
So,
Good. Good, man.
um,
Yeah, and that's the good news is there is a lot of kids that are I'm starting to see videos more and more online that are like giving me at least a little bit of hope. I'm like, all right, man, not all these kids are fucking dumb. You know, a lot of these kids
thank
are
God.
still, you know, got a decent head on their shoulders. You know, it's tough though, man. They grew up in a generation where the internet has. I mean, I can genuinely say I didn't grow up in a generation where the internet. I mean, I was a grown ass man before YouTube even came out. You know, like,
Yeah.
and I think I was 30 before I got a Facebook. You know, like I was, or damn near. You know, like
Hmm.
so.
I was
It's one of
playing
the
video games in like 2001, so on
yeah.
computer.
Yeah. So it's like you feel me. It's just it's they don't know a life without the
No.
internet, you know? And there's pros. I mean, to it. The internet is definitely a powerful tool, and you can use it for a lot of good. But you know, I told my buddy yesterday on the phone. I said, "Dog, you are the record label." Like, cause we were talking. He's old school too, and he said, "Dog, listen, you got to everything." I keep getting, you know, that song was too short. That song was too short. And I'm trying to like give him the code, like to make me. I'm like, dog, like you gotta just do what I'm telling you to do. I know everything I'm telling you to do is counter what you think I should be telling you. I'm like, but I'm telling you right now, like I study analytics, I know what's going on. Like my song, I've had people tell me, oh, the one that me and Toph just put out is too short. And I said it was short to him. I was like, yeah, it's short. I know it's short. I said, but I said, I guarantee you, people aren't even going to listen to the whole thing. And if you look at my watch time, people aren't. It's like 77% listen to the whole thing, and the rest they're going like $1.49 on it. Like people
Um,
That
don't
song
have that.
left me wanting more.
People don't have that attention span. Like it's crazy. They don't. They once you get if they've heard something already, they're done. So it's like you do the hook. It's like they just don't have the attention span. Is what I was telling my friend. And I said, bro, you gotta you gotta realize that the game has changed, you know. And I said that if you try to keep doing it the old way, I'm like, you're not gonna get in. Like you're just not gonna
yeah.
get in. Like because I keep telling them, like, man, you gotta start doing remixes. You gotta start doing this. You gotta start. And anyway, I'm just trying to like coach them on it, but the game is so different. Oh, that's what I was saying about the record deals is like, bro, these late you are the label. I said the internet changed a lot of things and it oversaturated it to the point
Mm.
where there's so much content. People don't even care about listening to a whole song now. It's like a bar. They're like, oh, he said this one little thing in that bar, and they'll play a song just to hear that bar. And as soon as they hear that bar, they got their little fix. It's just like a like, that dopamine shit they
I'm
talk
with
about.
you. I see that. I definitely
They
see
get
that.
that little, they get that little, oh yeah, he said blah 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 blah, and then they're done, and then they just zone out. And the next, what they're doing is they're just like in their head, they're just like they're not even listening to the song no more. They're like, what's that other song I want? Like they're already trying to think of another song. Maybe it's the same artist, and they're gonna skip to a different song by the artist, or it might be a completely different song. There's so much information and content constantly coming at people. I said that's for an artist that's the downside because everybody's got a pass into the game now. I
Mhm.
said, but on the goods, because back in the day there was like a handful of artists and that's all you got, unless somebody your homie gave you a tape on the low or you didn't have.
I tried making music right before Eminem started making music. Like it was
That's when I started.
98, 99, something like that. When right before he got big, he was still making music, but this is before we knew about it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
pop. Yeah, he had songs back in the 80s. Yeah.
And they're using like Vegas Pro and things like that when we had nothing else. And if you wanted studio time, you were paying about $1,000 for every 2 hours.
I
And
had a
that
1680. Remember those?
what was it?
A
A 16.
1680. A 1680
Yes,
recorder. I had a 1680. I had an MP7. I'm actually about to buy an Akai, a drum machine, Akai drum machine. I'm getting back to making beats again. I'm excited for that, man, because I haven't
I
made a
was
beat.
just getting beats that people were giving me that were copyright free. I used to get, I think, Shadowville or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
which they used to make some really good beats. I don't know if they still do or not, but I was never like I wasn't trying to do it to make music. I was just doing it because there wasn't nobody else making music and stuff that they were bringing around at that point in time. They didn't really want to hear about people hurting each other. Like after so long, the real gangster rap. It's like okay, I'm watching it. I don't want to hear it too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no, amen to that, bro.
um, so I got like one or two more questions for you because I don't want to keep you all day. But
Shit.
for
What's up?
you, which song of your own was the most impactful to yourself and everybody around you?
Repression.
Repression.
Absolutely, dude.
I could
Absolutely.
agree. I could agree.
Yeah,
I mean,
Repression is. So the quick story about Free Pression was I was at church and I heard that word while we were in like a prayer session. So this church I used to go to in Joliet, they had a like Thursday afternoon around noon or something, 11 noon o'clock, like something noon. I almost said noon o'clock. They they, at noon o'clock, don't be late. And and we would go there and just pray for like an hour. And I used to love that. It was like one of my favorite like hours of the week because it was just there was no forum, there was no nothing. They just had this dude Aaron, who's just like one of them guys. Is just could just belt out like just and he could just sing. He's just a very soulful dude. So he would kind of sing a little bit like and he kind of let it, but people you just it was open, it was free. You just walk around, you pray, you could be sitting in a chair, you could be walking around, you could be whatever you wanted to do. And I was just sitting there and I heard that word clear as day in my head. Like I didn't think that word out. I wasn't even thinking about that. I don't even remember what I was thinking about. I just jotted it down on a little piece of paper. I put it in my Bible and I didn't even think nothing about it, dog. I just like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't, free from the prey. Okay, cool. But I didn't think anything of it. A few months went by and then like I was living in an apartment that was literally about the size of my studio and didn't even have a kitchen or nothing. I mean, it was an office that someone turned into a living space illegally. Like I wasn't even supposed to be living.
like a
Yeah,
sublet.
it was like it was bad, dog. It was in the hood, and it was just not a good look. And that's where I was living, and I locked myself in that place for 4 days and wrote that song. I never did that before for anything else. Like my writing process is always different for every song. Some songs I write, I sit down, I write the whole thing in an hour. Some songs take me years. Like literally, I'll start a verse and then just leave it. I just try not to ever rush it or push it. And anyways, I sat down and locked myself in the room for 4 days. I didn't leave. Aside from like I ran to the like in the town to get something to eat or something. That was the only time I would like go get something. I really didn't even want to do that, and it was crazy. It looked like what it sounded like. Like it looked like all those thought like it was so out of order, and I was just writing everything. And it was on like 5, 6 different sheets of paper, like different kinds of paper. I mean, like it was on like one was on like construction paper. I was just anything I get my. I probably looked like a psycho. Like I probably looked, but it was so therapeutic to me, man, to like get
Remember
all
the
that.
song? I mean, the video too. You had a lot of effect and content to where in the video itself, you didn't need the song to know what everything was about, and that
Yes,
was something real special with that video. But
that
good, my bad
video,
for interrupting you.
the whole thing was a God thing. Is basically my point. Like even I mean, bro, when I say I didn't have nothing, I had no money, and I called up my videographer, this guy that I was working with at the time, which we're still calling me and shit, but I hit him up and I said, I want to shoot this video. I think it's a really powerful song. I think it could help some people. And I said, what's the best you could do for me? He's like, I could do like 8. He's like that's like he's like that's I mean rock bottom. I can do. I said, all right, bet. And so I said, like I was like, dude, how am I gonna get 8? I mean, when he said 800, I don't have $8. Like I was down, bro. I was out, and so I'm like, shit. But I just knew, like, all right, I feel like I felt like God gave me this. God's gonna. I've always, heard that, where God guides, He provides. Or if God gives you the vision, He'll give you the provision. Like, I've heard pastors say that, or little memes, or whatever you want to call it. And I've operated by that because I've experienced that. Like I've experienced, and that's kind of one of my compasses. Like if God ain't providing, it's like, okay, this is probably me. I'm probably trying to force something. So, but anyways, my landlord of the apartment building calls me, and he's like, "Hey, I need a one of the units downstairs painted. You want to paint it?" And I hate painting. Like literally, we just painted this. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no. And he's like, I'll pay you 800. I was like,
Wow. Like, wait a minute. Something's
like
telling
not
it
not
now.
700, not 900. He said, I'll pay you 800. I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to, and so I did it, and the rest is history, bro. Like that video, we shot that video like a stone's throw from the police station. No permits or nothing. Police
Yeah.
didn't show up. Like barges are going through that bridge. No police. I mean, there's so many. Not to mention how dangerous it was to stand up on that freaking thing. Um, like there was just a lot of, and my videographer tells me after, he's like, I'm scared of heights, right? Like after, I was like, well, I said, you're a soldier, bro. Like I was like, because he didn't act like
Mm,
it. Like he didn't act like it at all. He's like, let's get the shot, I guess, But I was like, damn, bro, you're a soldier. Because I'm not afraid of heights. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if you put me on the top of the Sears Tower and put me in the edge, I don't think that's necessarily a fear. I think that's common sense. You know what I mean? But like
no, I'm
fear
with you on that.
you know what I mean? Fear is like I'm standing on top of my roof. That's someone to me who's afraid of heights. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a like the ground's flat, it's okay, I'm not afraid. You can put me up as high, but so I was cool. The only part that was a little like whatever was when I stepped on the outside of that bar like that, but it's just it's yeah, that song was all God, bro. I say a lot of times in comments, that God wrote that and I just held the pen. Like
Well,
that
you did
that was
some
just
magic translation in it.
yeah,
That's
it
the
was
case.
I mean it's music is did that for me. Like my first song I ever wrote was called Seed, and Seed was like a poem. It's actually if you watch my song Music, the video for Music, where I'm sitting there with all the papers and stuff on
You're holding a piece of
that
paper
one,
or something. I think I
that
know
little
what you're
blue
talking
piece of
about.
paper. That's my first. That was the first song I ever wrote. It's called Seed. It's in my other room. Yeah, that I wrote that when I was 16, and I was like gonna kill myself. Like I hated. I was just over it, and I remember laying there, and then I rolled over, and there was a red Sharpie on the ground, and I wrote on that. And when I was done writing, after, I don't know how long it took, but when I was done, I felt a release, and I didn't want to kill myself for that moment of time. I mean, I battled suicide and depression for years, man, for years, really. And when I found Christ, that gave me the, like I said in Free Pressure, that gave me the key, but I still kept falling into the trap of depression. And at this point, I've honestly, that's when I dropped Free Pressure. I think the devil fought me hard on that, bro. I really do, because he knew what that song would do for people, and honestly for me, because it gave me the proof that I needed, that I was actually free. Like I was free, and if I chose to go back, like God will let us, because we're free. Like if I choose to go back, but I get those little like warning lights, those dash lights at this point. Like
Think twice.
you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire by entertaining these thoughts. I didn't realize what I was doing at the time. Like I didn't realize like I was reinforcing those thoughts. I didn't, by just continuing to think about continue. You got to fight them with truth. There's yeah, okay, whatever it is, got you down, got you feeling depressed, got you whatever. Those could be reality, but like they say, count your blessings, right? Like there's so many other, when we just breathe, take a step back, and be like, but I got this, I got that, I got a family, I got a wife, I got kids, I'm healthy. I live in America, which for the most part is still America. You know what I mean? I when
Hopefully
we
it
go
stays that way.
on, and it's just like all of a sudden you start realizing, yeah, man, I'm just dwelling. I'm just dwelling on this, and that's what's causing me to be depressed. And by the grace of God, man, that is not me anymore, man. I don't really let things grip me like that anymore. I still get my thoughts, and everybody does, but I take them, and I just I
Gotcha.
process and get rid of it. Filter it.
Now
So
I
yeah, that.
got my bad about that.
No, you're good.
I got one final question for you. Is this is just to lighten the mood, because there's always some question that kind of gets you really focused. Here's
Yeah,
the lighten the mood question. Is
yeah,
there
yeah,
any
yeah.
other artist that you refuse to do a song with besides Nick Cannon, obviously?
You know what? I know his people. Like I know you've heard the song, so you know that. Like I know his camp, bro. Like I know his people, and I've thought about it. Like especially when I go to Cali, which is few and far in between now, because they just destroyed that state. Where are you from,
Yes,
by
they
the way? Oh,
did.
never mind. You said Pittsburgh.
Well,
Um,
I'm from Pittsburgh originally. I live in Ohio now.
Ohio. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
That means
I'm
you got to come around this area, like
I'm
the
familiar with
Youngstown,
Ohio.
Cleveland area,
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
some concerts around here.
Yeah, I'm down, bro. I'm familiar with Cleveland, in Ohio, and I know you don't speed on that highway out there. I got 2 tickets in an hour out there, so I know they don't play.
No
Um,
comment. They will send
it's
them to you in the mail, though.
they do not
I
play,
got a
bro.
lot of them.
I was driving. This is actually a funny story, and then I'll answer that question. I was driving, dude. This was like '02, so I'm like '02, '03. Like this is way back in the day. This is actually how I met the dude that I was just telling you about, but the homie that I was like schooling about, like the new school shit and the way you got to do it. And
Yeah.
that's so crazy how it all comes like back. But I left Chicago at like, yeah, I don't know, man, probably like 8 o'clock at night or something like that. It was the evening. I borrowed my homie's Jeep because I didn't think my car would make it. Like I was like, I don't know. And I was driving to New York City. There was an MTV battle downtown New York City, and I was flying to get there. And I got stopped in Ohio going 80 something, like 88 or something like that. And I get a ticket, blah blah blah. Like less than an hour later, I get pulled over again, and this time I'm going 70, like 9 or something like that, and the speed limit I think was like 65 or something like that back then.
Yep.
It
Yep.
might be 70 now or something, but it was like, I think back then it was like 65. And so I remember telling the cop, I'm like, he's like, you just got a ticket. It says here you just got a ticket like an hour ago. He's like, And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what? And I was like, I slowed down. He's like, and he just looks at me like, he's just like shaking his head. He's like, he just gives me a ticket. It's just like, well, he was like, I mean, I was super young, and like, I think he was just like, I'm not even gonna, here, just take a ticket. But so, anyways, yeah, I know about Ohio, but um, I went to that MTV battle. That was crazy. It was pretty dope. I think God protected me. I was chasing every outlet. And speaking of Ohio, I was chasing down LeBron James. Trying. That's why I was I shared it on an Instagram post. But that's yeah. That's why I don't like LeBron. On top of a lot of other things, that's one of the reasons why I burned his jersey because the dude was a total asshole when I
I
met him.
can't blame you one bit. I
I was
don't
trying to
blame you
get
one
my
bit.
I was trying to get my music to Jay-Z, you know, and I know him, and it's a long story, but you know, I know Chicago, I know Cleveland well. I went to a steak XO. Is that a steakhouse in XO? I think it is, or something like that. A steakhouse in Cleveland. That's where all
I'm
the
not
athletes.
sure.
I went there after the games. I bought tickets. I bought course. I was like, I was determined, and I did. I got my music in Jay Z's hands. I got my music in LeBron's hands. You know, I was, but I think God just was like, this is. I was hard headed. That was for like a decade. I was just like, I'm gonna get in the game. I I, I didn't want to. I didn't trust record labels for whatever reason. It was funny because I didn't even know what they were into at the time, but I just didn't trust them, and so I was trying to go. I was trying to go around them, and yeah. Anyways, but who is an artist that I absolutely would not do a song with? Um, I'm gonna say Hosier, if you know who he is.
I know
Yeah,
who
I know who
Hosier
he is.
is. I don't like his
Yeah,
music myself, so
I don't like his music, but you know, I'm the type of guy that um, it's even more personal than that. Like I just don't like him, so
well, I mean, I
I
can't
just would
blame you
I
necessarily
would do a
because
song with Nick Cannon before I do a song with Hosier.
Wow.
okay, so here let's trip it really up. You got Hosier, you got Nick Cannon, you got Nas X. Which one? If you had to, if you were forced.
Nick Cannon.
Okay, okay, I understand.
Yeah, because you know what, man, this some real shit, and we're all spiritual. We're all beings, and we're all influenced. So like, this really goes for all three of them. To be honest, you know, the reason I don't like Hoser is because he talked some shit when him and Adam were beefing. To
Yeah,
me personally, he said some shit to me, and I just there's never been
you're gonna hold it.
resolution. So it's like, okay, well, I don't fuck with you. You know, he says, oh, it was like through the phone, like it wasn't even, it was a text. He said something about, I don't even remember. He just said some fuck shit. And I don't like him, and his music's trash. So, um, but what I was gonna say about spiritual shit, dog, is basically like, you know, I think, I think obviously Lil Nas X is young and very heavily influenced, and I think he's just I think he's church hurt, to be honest. I think he had like kind of an upbringing in church, and I think, you know, he's kind of just like rebelling, and he's just talented and has the ability to do it in a way that made, you know, he's just. I think I said it in the song Hollywood. He's really not the problem. You know what I'm saying? He's just
My
a pawn.
problem when it comes
He's
to
just a
Nas X
pawn.
in general, the whole problem I have is the fact that they aim that guy towards children. I got
Oh
five
yeah,
kids
yeah,
myself.
yeah.
And the
And he's still an adult. Like he's still. I'm not like just voiding of all
no, I
responsibility.
know, but
But
just the way that
yeah,
they push him, it's wrong. So that's
100%.
why I won't react to
100%.
him on my channel at all.
And I don't blame you. And yeah, and I 100% agree with that. And you know, what I was gonna say about Cannon is, you know, I think some people got in his head because he's another dude like this, Chris. The reason he got me so pissed off is because I know his circle, bro. I know his producer. I've hung out with them multiple times. I know I know a lot of people around. Me and him never met personally ever. He's heard my
Yeah.
music a few times. He's definitely heard my music now, but he's he, he's heard my music before that. He sent some text, you know, like to the producer while I was in the studio, like, "Yo, that shit's fire," And there was actually, if you go back to my first album called The First Cause, which is you won't even find it anywhere now because it's not even online. It was before any of this, but I did a song called "I'm a Star," and that actually made it on a like an independent artist like all-star thing he was doing that he was like it was like Nick Cannon presents, but it was really like another dude was handling it for him. And that was kind of my first way I met him or met like his circle. And my song like killed it. Like there was like 15 songs I want to say on it, and there was only my song and one other song, this other artist that was Nick Cannon's artist that he was like basically using this whole thing to promote his like independent artist that he like basically was trying to push. And my song, this is back in MySpace, my song and his song, because they made a page for it and everything, were the top two. And it was like mine was shitting on his, but his was like the next closest. And so like they, you know, Nick, I I was hurt. Like I was like mad because I was like, dog, when I saw the interview and he's calling white people a guest and all, and I wrote guests before, way before I dropped it. I was working on the Eracism album, and I was just waiting to put it in there. And so I was just letting the album grow as it was going to grow and drop it when it's ready. And but then he gave me the invitation, pun intended. Like he literally served me up a
Yes, he
fucking red
did.
carpet, and I was just like, okay, well
He
now I'm gonna
didn't.
drop this.
I don't think he
And
expected you to bring a chainsaw to cut the turkey. So,
I don't think he expected that at all.
that's the way I looked at that. Like you shouldn't have done that. This guy's just completely annihilating you right now because you had to. So I mean,
it was
absolutely.
cool though. I would love to sit down, but all jokes aside, I've told I haven't I've talked. So when I dropped Home, his people called me, his boy Jason, which I love that guy. He's still a cool dude. And he called me, and Nick's a real one when it comes to like street shit. According to his people, again, I've never met him, so I don't know. But he's all bloods. That's why he's always wearing red and shit. So it's like he's not a bitch. Like a lot of people think he's like a. That's why I took Home where I took Home, because like Guess was kind of like I got in, but then everybody tied me in the Stan thing. Like I was getting, oh, he's Stan, he's sticking up for, and I was like, hold on, skirt. Let me clarify. Like I personally have an issue with Nick Cannon, but to do that, that's why I was like, let me hit the goons up real quick, just so he knows like this is not soft shit. Like this ain't some. I ain't a little white boy you gonna son like this. We'll take it there if it has to, bro. And it's just funny, man, because as soon as Home dropped, bro, I didn't hear anything from Guest, but as soon as Home dropped, like 30 minutes after Home dropped, Jason calls me, and he's like, man, he's like, I love you, right? And I said, yeah. I said, I love you too, dog. He said, why you so mad at Nick? I said, why is Nick saying a bunch of racist shit, man? And he said, okay, hold on. And then he breaks it down to me. And really, to make it short, you ever see people that are like about to scrap, or maybe personally you did it, and you just say the most fucked up shit you can say because you just want to go. Like you're tired of talking, you're tired of whatever.
Exactly,
so So that's basically where it's at. All that shit with him and Mariah, he kept telling them to chill. Like he wanted to scrap, I guess, a couple times at like award shows, and M didn't want no smoke, like which makes I believe it. And so he basically was like, Nick is not trying to beat him in rapping. He's like, he knows he can't beat him in rapping. He's like, he wants to beat his ass. Like, so he's trying to piss him off. He's trying to piss him off to get him to get under his skin. And I was like, okay, street shit. Okay, I like basically respect that and I understand. I was like, but at the end of the day, he's calling out a whole race of people, and I was like, and I don't fuck with that. I don't respect that. And Jason was like, I respect that. I get where you come from, dog. He's like, I just had to know because like I thought we was cool. So I'm like, we're cool, and I'll still sit down with Nick and I'll say the same shit I said on the track or right now, because it's like if he's got, that's what I think is, I don't think he understood what he was doing. Maybe he just lost sight of how influential of a person he is. You know what I mean? And he just was like a real person for a second. Like I'm just going street with this bullshit. I want a piece of him. Like I want to hurt him. And I get it. When he told me, Jason told me some behind the scenes shit of some of the shit that M said, and like he basically told me, it's like, dude, Nick tried so many different times to like respectfully address the shit and just tell M chill. Like tell M chill. Like quit talking about my wife. Quit posting this fuck shit. Quit. And he's like, M just wouldn't chill. Like M was like, fuck him. I'm not chilling. And he was like, all right, well,
Pushed it to that level.
So on some real shit, like I said, out of those three, it's like I would have to, I don't know what we would rap about. But
hey, you never know. I mean, maybe having a battle back and forth or something. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm going to turn the floor over to you here in a second, in case you got anything you want to talk about or you want to promote. But yeah. Final question is sent to me in a private message, and I forgot about it till right now. Everybody's saying they want you in Upchurch in a song.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider it?
Absolutely. I absolutely would do a song Church. I know him. We've met multiple times, but I wouldn't say we're like homies. But it's not because of anything other than we just
don't know each other that well.
I think it's just there's levels, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know, you gotta earn your stripes and shit. You know, and so I think there's some of those things going on, and nothing like intentional, just the process. But yeah, absolutely. I actually have a couple joints that, like I said, just like Jelly Roll. I don't like doing features for the sake of like climbing ranks. You know what I mean? I don't be like, oh, this dude's got more subs or more followers or more whatever. You know, I like as I'm writing, because I just constantly write. You know, if I hear something like, yo, that might be so and so. I usually, like I said, I don't try to force it. Now, if like another verse just naturally comes, actually Know My Name. I thought about having Church I Know My Name.
Would be something. That would definitely be something there.
But it's like for whatever reason, I sat on, and I just don't force shit. Like I don't blow people's DMs up. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy. Like I don't chase anything. So it was just like, I think I reached out to his manager, cause like Church goes through phones like he goes through like fucking Dip. Like that dude's got a new phone.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so like real shit. Like I actually had his shit at one point, and then like that was like 7 phones ago. So I just hit his manager up, and there was like some back and forth, and it just wasn't happening. It felt like forced. It just felt like he was kind of like not trying to like make it happen, and not Church like his manager. So I was just like, you know what, it'll happen when it happens. And I'm glad that I didn't, because I think the second verse I really liked how that second verse came together on Know My Name, and it makes more sense anyways. I mean, it's a song called Know My Name. You know what I mean? Like, So it's like, it was on the Mesus EP, so it made more sense. But yeah, I would love to do a song with Church, no doubt about it. I have a couple songs in mind, and if you're watching, let's work, dog. Let's work right now, dog. Call me right now.
You hear that, Church? Here, let me do one better than that. I'm gonna throw his hashtag in this after. Upchurch, I know you're a subscriber, buddy. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna tag you. But yeah,
it's funny because this picture that you have of me up here is from Know My Name.
I pulled it. I was gonna just throw a picture up there in case I didn't know if you was gonna go video or not. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull the one off his Facebook. It's probably one of his most latest ones.
Yeah, that one's basically my, whatever you call it, profile pic on everything now.
Yeah, that's his Insta profile too.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and
your Instagram profile pic.
Yep.
Well, let me go ahead and turn the floor over to you. If there's anything that you got going on you want to promote, feel free to go out there.
All right. So first of all, thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, man, it's good to chop it up with you guys, and I appreciate that last question. That shit made me laugh, bro. Yeah, nothing really crazy, man. I mean, I have a project, a collab project. I'll just put it that way. I have a collab project. I don't know if I'm supposed to say with who yet. Dropping very soon. The first single from the collab project is dropping March 11th. So, or we might drop in March. The single is dropping March 11th. The video might drop March 10th, if I can get it done in time. But
and I'll be putting a
so
reaction that day out, so don't worry. Definitely.
it's this one. I'm honestly, This is probably the most controversial song I've ever done. Um, so I don't know, and I'm not doing it. That's the thing is people think like Dictator and all these joints that go crazy. People don't understand how hard I fight. Oh, that was the New World Order thing I want to say. I fight not putting this shit out. That song, the New World Order remix, I wrestled whether or not to put that shit out for hours, bro. And my wife, I mean, I was like, I'm not a chew your fingernail guy, but if I was, I'd have no fingernails left, bro. Like I was like, should I do this? Should I do this? Like, I didn't want Adam to take it the wrong way. I just didn't know how I was gonna, and I kept thinking the worst and the worst, and I finally sent it off to, I let Burden hear it, and I let Broadnecks hear it. And I said, and it was funny because I got like the opposite responses that I thought I'd get from those type of people. Because I actually asked two other people, but you wouldn't know who they are. They're just like some of my homies. And like I got basically the same response from my homies that I thought I'd get from them. But like Burden and Broadnecks, I got like almost like the opposite responses that I thought I would get, which was kind of funny. But like it was all love at the end of the day, but there was just like, and what was like the final thing was like I ran into this dude. Literally, I posted that from the McDonald's, which is hilarious. Tom McDonald, because I was out on the road. Remember, I'm out with my family. And it was my son's birthday, and we're in this little like taco like or seafood spot, like somewhere in Houston, and I'm sitting with my laptop on my lap, and I'm like stressing because I'm like I went out to the damn McDonald's and I'm sitting there. I uploaded everything, and all I had to do was hit post. Like that's it. That was all it was left to do on the video, and I shut the laptop. I'm like, well, dude, I don't know if I should do this shit. Like, and I go back in because I feel like I'm being a dick. It's my son's birthday, and I'm like fucking out here in McDonald's parking lot while they're in a seafood restaurant. And so I go back over there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to like be present. And I'm like eating and just like my brain. And then this guy just walked. He's like, "Hey, are you Mesus?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like the rapper, and I was like, yeah. And then so him and I have this guy. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing in some hood fucking seafood spot in Houston?" And I was like, "I'm eating," you know. And but it was just like it hit me then, man. I was like, okay, this is what I do. You know what I mean? Like this is what I was so like in it that I couldn't remove myself from it and just be like, this ain't that big of a deal. I did a remix, because I was like worried, like, man, this fucking Adam gonna get like mad at me about this shit, like thinking I'm trying to like, do some whatever, like because those people get in your head, the clout chase, start buying it. So it's just, I forgot why. There was another reason. Oh, just these controversial songs, bro. I don't do it. I don't want to do these songs. Like, I'm being honest. I don't want to do them. And it's not because, like, I'm afraid to say it or whatever. I don't want to do it because I don't want to be put in this box of, like, because unfortunately, dog, those are the songs that go. Those are the ones that people know me for. Every time I know you for this and this and this. It's like, I have a whole album called Dear Rap where I didn't say one controversial fucking bar in the whole damn thing. You know that, right? Like, you know that? I just dropped an album called Mesus that literally has nothing controversial, but it's like, no, they know me for this. They know me for like a handful of songs. And I'm like, dog, I'm so much more than that shit. And so it's like, every time I pull one of those out, I feel like it just buries my what do they call it, like catalog more under like just, and it just like solidifies me. And I'm so glad that I heard you say people like Church and Jelly and Swag, because it's like no disrespect, very clear in case anybody watches it. No disrespect to like the MAGA movement or like guys like Topher. I just did 2 songs with them, like Bryson, right? Those are my guys. I rock with those dudes. But it's like I've tried I've worked way too hard to be just this. Like, don't put me in this like, oh, that's the guy that he's controversial.
You don't want to fit in that small genre of political rappers when not necessarily you are at all. I mean, let's be honest, even with the New World Order song that you were just speaking of, when the most impactful thing in that song for me was when you gave homage to all the other artists for what they did. Like I can't remember everything through that song, but I absolutely remember the homage of it through
Yeah.
at the very end more than anything
Yeah.
else, because it was
Yep.
like, hey, I'm not trying to step on toes. I'm not trying to be like everybody else, but I see what you guys are doing. I respect what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
But good.
and I feel like I had to do that or I couldn't put that song. I feel like for me it was like that was my okay, I got to put this little piece in here, this 2 cents in, but yeah, dog, like all that to say that the song dropping this week is one of them, and I've been sitting on it. That's another thing. I feel like I should start doing that to people who whatever, like they could see. I wrote this shit, and it's I've had this shit since October. Like I've been sitting on this shit since October because I just and sometimes I feel like stuff has to whatever because it's on this collab project, and so maybe it just took time for that to happen where this artist that I collab with will would be on that song. But it's a crazy one, and that's dropping. And then I moving forward after that, I got another solo project coming. I'm dropping either FU2 or Raptivist. So it's gonna be one of the two. I got
I'm
two.
interested in both of them, so you let me know, and I'll be
Yep.
checking them out without a
Yep.
question.
Well, yeah. Other than that, man, that's it. I mean, that's all I got coming up, man.
So everybody, don't forget that. Mark that on your calendars. The 10th, you can check out the video. The 11th, you can get it. Right?
Yeah, yeah. It'll be next.
Okay.
So it'll be this Friday coming up. That's when the yep next Friday. I got a new one.
That's the opener. So this Friday, we'll be doing that once I get off of work, probably about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to react to it. But that's besides. So let me go ahead and close out the show. I very, very much appreciate it. You're the second real interview that I've done on the channel. I mean, the group of friends that I do have, a lot of them are musicians and stuff like that. So I'm around it. My family, my brother was a lead singer of a band I'm not going to mention on stream because we don't talk no more. Politically, obviously, he has different views, and he's one of the unhinged that doesn't agree with you if you don't believe everything. So
that's sad. I hope you guys can sort that out, man.
It's better. It's better this way because he ain't saying things to hurt my mom. I mean, that's just how that works out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes it is what it is, man.
Exactly. But hey, like I said, I wanted to thank you for coming out. Feel free anytime you got a new song coming out, even if it's controversial, shoot me a message. If I can't react to it on YouTube, I got my own site and a few other platforms and more, so we can check it out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what YouTube does with this one, man. Prayers, bro, because
we will have to check it out. I mean, on my platform, my personal thing, there ain't no rules. As long as it's not like sending somebody down to break a law, that's the only thing. So we ain't got nothing to worry about on there.
Yeah. No, it's honestly the funniest thing about it is it's like what I'm saying shouldn't be controversial, but the world that we live in has made
everything is.
What's this song? Because I'm just like I said in my mind, I feel lame. Even but it can't. I feel lame even saying that because it's like it sounds like you're trying to be. I'm like really not, but that's the only way I know how to. It's about a subject that is controversial apparently, and I've kind of just had it and said some things I had to say about it in a very I don't know how to be any more straightforward than how I said it in this song, so.
Anything can be controversial anymore. I just gave up on caring I could hold a hacky sack up and they're going to say that there's something wrong. It might be the wrong color or something.
Hate baseballs. You hate baseball.
There you go. There you go. But like I said, let me go ahead and finish closing this out. And for anybody who wants to see more of Mesus, look, there's Swag right there. He's on Twitch watching a stream. So for the real young
Swag.
Oh, Swag, what up?
But anybody that wants to check out Mesus, you can go down to the very first or second hashtag. The first one is Saint Mesus, which will take you to his channel. Saint Squad will take you to other reaction videos along with some of his songs. So you guys can go check that out. Once again, thank you for the interview. I appreciate the hell out of it. And you guys just watched Savage Smoke Sessions. So we're getting the hell out of here. See you all later. We got some reactions to do then. Everybody that came out, you're all awesome. Stay savage.
Yeah.